to being able to get ready to go. As a matter of fact, activity is started, but we do not have a number associated with the activity. 38 is the number in the bullpen. 38 is not listed on the Hofstra Pride roster card that we were sent before the ball game. So friends, here's what's probably happened. Somebody has probably left a uniform in New York, and somebody has grabbed the 38. But that is the lone guy in the bullpen, as Gregory Walls will break up the meeting. Tank Ikubi will stand in. And Kenny Mallory in the on-deck circle. Ikubi trying to lay down the bunt. Will take strike one. Max, I'll ask you the simple question. You think O'Hanlon gets to the top of the lineup card for a third straight inning?
Cannot imagine it unless he gets a double play here or a good play by an infielder here. You don't want to see Kenny Mallory Jr. a third time, especially after what he did in his last at-bat. Give you a firm no with a capital N on that question.
Here's the 0-1. O'Hanlon comes set. And he'll offer this one missing low. 1 ball, 1 strike. The mystery guest continues to work in the left field bullpen. O'Hanlon checks the runner at first. Ikubi trying to lay down the bunt. And strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Or excuse me, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Video board is all out of whack, says 3-1. Now they'll flip it to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the offer. Breaking ball in there for strike 3. Ikubi simply trying to lay down the bunt, move runners, and he'll simply draw the backwards K on O'Hanlon. Second out of the inning. And now, out for a quick check of the defensive look comes Pelcher. Well, 38 is the new 35. Russell Hunter is the Hofstra Pride that's in the bullpen. And the offer fouled away by Mallory. Boy, Kenny was trying to park one in Hunt Softball Park across the street. The bomb in the second was one that got up, and Max, I won't say wind-aided, but it certainly got directed to the furthest point on the left field side by Mother Nature.
Certainly did, and I talked about it when he hit it. You got to be some kind of strong to drive one to the opposite part of the yard.
Runner going, throw by Pelcher down to second, and simply steps in front of the bag, does the shortstop Brown. But Zestawicki swipes the bag. And now runners at second and third.
Good try by Pelcher that time, knowing your runner at third base and Ryan Sprock probably isn't going to try and steal the run from you. Might as well try and throw it down to second, see if anything can happen.
Here's the offer. This one missing on the inside. Not quite sure that O'Hanlon wants to see Granitel back-to-back singles, or see Paradine, Offshack, or Duffy, who have got 3 hits and have been on base 4 times. 2 balls, 1 strike, and the offer. Mallory, good bat discipline that time not to go chase.
If being in the 2-1 hole to Kenny Mallory Jr. was scary, well, if 3-1 is impossibly and horrific, because that pitch, you could see it. Kenny wasn't going to swing unless that pitch was picture perfect. Now you got to frame it, put it above the bed, make it a nice scenic area for Kenny Mallory Jr. to take the bat off his shoulder here.
Deuce is wild. Here's the 2-2. Mallory fouls it away.
That was it. You could see on the reaction there, he spun away. Head went down. He knew he just missed that last one.
Kenny, who drives in RBIs for the first time in the last 6 ball games with that home run, scores a run for the first time in the last 5 games in the last inning. Trying to add to the RBI total right here. Here's the 2-2, lifted. That'll get down and get by the left fielder, Kennedy. Add 2 more to the total for Mallory. He'll turn the corner and wind up at second. And my goodness, how was your Friday night, Kenny Mallory? 5 RBIs in his first 3 at-bats, and the Phoenix lead by 6.
And what plate discipline, what a approach at home plate on that swing, just drives it the other way. 2 outs, the runners knew what they needed to do. They started running as soon as they heard bat and ball connect. 5 RBIs, not too shabby for the man standing on second base.
Sprock scores his first run of the night. Zestawicki scores his second run of the night. And now, out for the visit comes Frank Catalinato, and the Dominoes call to the bullpen will get made. O'Hanlon does not get out of the third. Winds up working 2 2/3. But Hofstra's got to make the early call and head to the bullpen. It'll be Russell Hunter. We'll give you the information on the new hurler next. This is Elon Baseball from Learfield and Elon Sports Vision. Well, you can't close the book yet on O'Hanlon. Mallory at second is still his responsibility, but O'Hanlon will not get to see Charlie Granitel, who could very easily knock off his third hit against the starter as Hofstra makes the Dominoes call to the bullpen and will go get Russell Hunter. His 11th appearance on the year, a 1-0 mark in terms of the win-loss ledger, and ERA just over 8.04. 15 2/3, 16 runs, 14 of them earned on 9 hits. Struck out 17 and walked 17. The batting average is probably the more impressive element. A 173 batting average against for Hunter. Quick reminder, this is the Dominoes call to the bullpen. Looking for the perfect answer for dinner tonight. Dominoes of Elon, the right call, 584-3336. Order online, Dominoes.com. Find out how you can join the Dominoes Rewards program. Start earning free pizza after just 2 orders. Dominoes, home of the mix and match deal and the perfect answer for any day of the week. Something about schools from in the New York City metro area. Kenny Mallory's second 5 RBI game of the season. The other one, the New Jersey Institute of Technology, Max.
Certainly a good way to start your afternoon, start your series weekend, that is, for Kenny Mallory Jr. And he really figured it out. Give a lot of credit to him. Got in that 2-strike hole. O'Hanlon was 1 pitch away, but he left a pitch right over the middle of the plate. And Kenny Mallory Jr. is not going to miss too many of those. Drives in runs 4 and 5 on the evening.
And Nolan Straniero has been given a 6-run cushion to work with through 3 innings. Mallory, a pretty good lead off the bag at second as Granatella will take the 0-1 on the outside corner. Boy, you can't script this any better for what the Phoenix were looking for, what the Phoenix needed with regards to the offensive end.
They knew the blueprint and they followed it exactly. They're building a great offensive scheme right now.
Here's the 1-1. It is lifted into right. Masick will track it down. He'll make the play, and the inning will draw to the close. But a Kenny Mallory 2 RBI double brings the Phoenix 3 more runs. Elon in front by 6, 8-2. With Max Wallace, I'm Taylor Durham. Hard to know what's been the better storyline so far. Nolan Straniero on a 57-pitch night has given up 2 runs on 3 hits, making his first weekend start. Or that guy right there, Lawrenceville, Georgia native Kenny Mallory, 5 RBIs. And as we head to the 4th, and my broadcast partner Max Wallace, Mallory and his teammates have staked 32 to a 6-run lead.
Exactly what a pitcher would ask for, and for Mallory Jr., a career night already. It's only the top of the 4th inning here at Latham Park in the batter's box. He's also made a couple of nice plays out in left field too. Straniero will go back to work. He'll have Harrington, McCoy, and Kennedy. And this is the part of the order where he kind of ran into a little bit of trouble. 4, 5, and 6. Harrington got things started with a single back in the 2nd as he tries to bunt foul down the 3rd base line. Started with a single back in the 2nd. McCoy followed suit with a single of his own. Both of those runners would come around to score, but since then it has been all maroon and gold. They lead it 8-2. Straniero out of the windup, comes back with a strike, 75 miles an hour on the inside part of the zone. And quickly ahead, 1-2. Straniero's got 3 Ks today. They've been the 1, 2, and 3 hitters. Make it 4 and make it 1, 2, 3, and 4 for number 32. He gets out number 1.
Great job by Straniero. That's also a 3rd straight strikeout. And boy, Harrington just simply running right over the top of it. Straniero's been able to accelerate, but boy, Max, when he's dropped it off the table, Hofstra has been perplexed from the get-go.
It is one of the hardest things to do if you're a batter, and that's face a guy who's got a lot of command and is mixing up his speeds well. And that is exactly what Nolan Straniero has been able to do through 3 1/3, as now he'll take McCoy, who singled back in the 2nd.
One of the things that's also happening, and you can kind of see it happening right before your eyes, the confidence of Nolan Straniero seems to grow every at-bat and certainly every inning.
Certainly does, and how could you blame him? You go into a game 0-0, then you go into a game where it's 2-0 you're leading, then it's 5-2 you're leading, and now it's 8-2 you're leading. Next pitch to McCoy, fouled back into the netting. Count goes to 2-2.
Now, this game plan becomes even more astute. And I'm going to tell you that it's already at the top of the astute list when it was put together by the 28th year head coach as Straniero plunks McCoy. But boy, this game plan really comes together if Mitrovic gets back in his Saturday spot tomorrow and is fantastic.
Talk about it all the time, how important it is to play at home, and we touched on it a little bit earlier in the broadcast, how important it is if you're a pitcher to kind of stay where you're at. Mitrovic was very good last season in that Saturday spot. He's been phenomenal this season, no doubt, but you're hoping that when he's in his Saturday spot, you stick with things as normal, he can really get back on track.
Now, people may wonder, well, why did he go to the Friday start? Because the guy that was in the Friday start had an opportunity to go pitch for a Power 5 team.
Exactly right. And when your hand is called and you got the deck that's in your hand, you got to play the cards you're dealt. And that's exactly what the Phoenix have done throughout this season. This one's lifted in the air to shallow left field. Shift was on, everybody converging, and it drops in between 3 Phoenix. That'll be a first base hit of the night for Kennedy. And McCoy will go over to second base, runners at first and second. McCoy at second base after he was hit by pitch. Kennedy, the little seeing eye single to advance to first. And it brings up Seeley, who flew out to center field, and Tank Yakubi in his last at-bat. First pitch to him, misses outside, ball 1. Seeley was at Brunswick Community College in 2022. Was his last time playing collegiate baseball, no at-bats last year, but he did pitch for the Hofstra Pride. Takes that one outside, ball 2. Oh for 1 today on a 4-game hit streak. He's 6 for his last 15 with 2 extra base hits in that time. Got 2 ducks on the pond, and Hofstra really needs an offensive spark, but he goes ahead 3-0. Really the first time all game that Stranero has fallen behind this badly on a batter. 3 balls, no strikes to Seeley. Taking all the way for strike 1 was the 7-hitter.
No throwing yet down the right field line, but Max starting to do some stretching at this point as you get a great look into the Elon bullpen by our Elon Sports Vision cameras.
3-1 pitch, right on the outside corner for strike 2. Don't really want to burn the midnight oil if you're Stranero here. You've gotten a lot out of him. You've got a comfortable lead. He's built a whole lot of confidence. If there's any kind of panic, you want to push that button as soon as possible. This one lifted in the air to center. Yakubi over, and he makes the play. Second at bat, same result. A flyout that ends in the glove of Tank Yakubi for Seeley. And now 2 gone here in the top of the 4th.
At some point, though, Max, and you don't want to get ahead of yourself here, certainly, but at some point, you may toy with the idea, getting ready to be the 75th pitch. Let's go ahead and maybe try to stretch Nolan out just a little bit.
First pitch swing drives this one into left field. That one will get down at the warning track. 1 run will score from second. It's McCoy. Kennedy being waved around third. He will score. It's a first pitch swinging double from Pelcher. And Hofstra is back on the scoring column with 2 here in the top of the 4th.
Matt Pelcher's now halfway to the cycle. And boy, a really good job that time as Pelcher just simply stayed behind it, lifted it. Phoenix had the shift going in the outfield, so Mallory had to get on the horse and try to get there and could not track it down. Pelcher driving in RBI 18 and 19 on the season.
Pelcher is so good with runners at third. He was batting .846 coming into this weekend. No one was on third that time, but with ducks on the pond in a big spot, he delivered.
You also don't see many 8 guys now with 19 RBIs. That speaks to the confidence Frank Catalanato and this Hofstra Pride team have got in him being in that bottom third.
It's 20 and 21 today for Pelcher as Brown, the 9-hole hitter, falls behind quickly 0-2. Grounded out to Nolan Stranero himself in his first at-bat in the 2nd inning. The 0-2 pitch. Line drive, base hit over the glove of Offshack. That will send Pelcher all the way around to score. Throw in comes to second, and the Pride take 3 back, 8-5 here in the top of the 4th.
And boy, talk about getting work done in the bottom third of the lineup. A double and a single by the 8-9 to drive in the 3 runs. And here's the benefit of the night that Kenny Mallory's had. Here's the benefit of the night that Charlie Granatel's had, that guys like that have had in the top of the lineup. Phoenix have got some room to work with.
Second time, though, that Stranero has been ahead in the count, and give a lot of credit. Pelcher jumped on the first pitch he saw. Brown jumped on a 2-strike pitch. 2 good at-bats by 2 guys in the bottom of this lineup.
It's also now the 3rd time through the lineup card.
This one laid down the third base line. Offshack bare hand, won't even attempt the throw, and smartly doesn't because that would have allowed Brown to get to third. So the bunt with 2 outs gets the job done for Palmer. And all of a sudden, what was a smooth sailing kind of inning will draw a meeting on the mound by Coach Serber and Alex Duffy. And action now fully started down the way and right.
Yeah, I'm almost convinced. I don't think he gets to Harrington. If you're looking through the card right now, Rosso and Masick are 0 for 4 and have got 3 strikeouts to them. I think Straniero going 4 innings is exactly what the Phoenix wanted, needed, and got done. As you look down in the bullpen, that looks like Liam DeBakian throwing down there, unable to put a number on it as of yet. But how about that for a 1-2 combo? Holy smoke.
Certainly would be, but there's a big at-bat, and this one's flared shallow. Infield, Zestowicki makes the play to get out of trouble. Hofstra gets 3. They still trail by that number. Will Liam DeBajian be coming in next? You'll have to stick around to find out. Phoenix go back to bat when we come back on Elon Sports Vision. Take a second to marvel in the masterful at-bats and plate appearances by Kenny Mallory Jr. 5 RBIs today, halfway to the cycle, a home run and a double. And he's a man who's driven in the majority of the 8 runs for the Phoenix. Little bit till we see him again in the batter's box, but until then, it's the 3, 4, and 5 hitters in Paradine, Hofstra, and Duffy. Not the typical 3, 4, and 5 you're used to seeing in the maroon and gold jerseys. Today, the gold backdrops, the maroon pinstripes for the Phoenix. But Paradine would like to erase what was a 5-4-3 double play in the second. He's got another crack at it here in the fourth. Hunter goes back to work. First pitch, swinging is Paradine. This one lifted in the air to left field. Back a step onto the warning track is Kennedy, and he retires the first batter for the Phoenix in Shane Paradine.
He left the bat. You and I both thought, well, there's a nice way to get one of the 3 runs back.
Could hear the ping of the bat from up here with the window open. That thing was smoked off the bat. But just in the field of play and enough room for Kennedy to make the catch.
Welcome to a Friday night in April. Windows open. We've had the wind blowing through for the better part of the day. We've got stuff duct taped and gaff taped down. We're good to go. Buckled in for the first of 8 straight.
Big swing and a foul tip by the captain, Connor Hofstra. Count goes to 0-2.
Quick reminder, 4 p.m. tomorrow, 1 p.m. on Sunday. Welcome in Grace Stetler tomorrow, Hodge Burkhardt on Sunday as Elon tries to win a Friday for the first time in 4 conference weekends. Hard to believe that, isn't it?
Took the words right out of my mouth. For a team as good as this, unbelievable. This would be a good kickstart to the rest of the season. Still a lot of time to play, only April 12th here in CAA play. But you got to start stacking the wins somewhere. Hofstra, 0-2 pitch in there for strike 3. Great use of the off speed by Hunter. And Hofstra goes down looking. Could see the choked up grip on the 2-strike approach, but buckled at the knees. Hunter finds his prey. Out number 2 here in the bottom of the 4th. First pitch missing to Alex Duffy, the catcher. 2 for 2 today, a single and a double. RBI to his credit back in the first. Looking for hit number 29 on the season. Takes this one in there for strike 1. Duffy came into today 1 for his last 18. He's quickly erased that with the 2-hit game today. Also his 7th multi-hit performance on the season. Big swing and a miss at the 80-mile-an-hour changeup. Strike 2.
We also mentioned 6 for 7 in conference play the last 2 games in this ballpark. Remember, 4 for 5 in that Sunday offensive effort against Campbell.
Fouls this one to stay alive into the seating on the hillside.
Mike Kennedy mentioned just having something good happen, and Alex Duffy's one of those guys. You look through the lineup card and you just go through the names. Mallory, Granitel, Hofstra, Duffy, Sprock, Vergantino, guys who have been in big spots for this program. And oh, by the way, Shane Paradine's a guy that was an all-conference guy at Stony Brook in the America East, and a guy who had a big-time year last year in this league. There are names that have got reputations. You've just got to have everybody kind of on the same page.
Right now, this Phoenix offense is as on page as they've been all season long.
Yes.
It's really a good sight to see here on a Friday at Latham Park. Shades of what we saw before conference play picked up, and we talked about it. No walk in the park, as you said. The next couple weeks wouldn't be classified as a walk in the park either, but much easier when you're not playing UNCW in Wilmington and Campbell, who is just always so lethal.
Yeah, I mean, Max, listen, we talked about it before the ball game. 1-8. Hofstra comes in at 3-6. Right now, the magic number is 5-4. So you start the weekend 4 back.
Here's the 1-2. Low and outside, deuces wild.
You have an opportunity to take 2 of 3 this weekend, potentially all 3 this weekend. Then all of a sudden you're starting to leapfrog some folks. You would leapfrog Hofstra. If you take all 3, you'd be tied if you take 2 of the 3.
Really good at-bat brewing here by Alex Duffy.
But the one thing that you got to do is this week in Monmouth, all due respect to the Hawks, it'll be here next Friday night. But knowing Northeastern, William and Mary, and Charleston make up 9 games in the final, let's say 12 games, you got to be able to make your hay at some point these next 2 weekends.
Really important games coming up for the Phoenix. A really important top of the 5th coming up for the defense. 8-5, Phoenix still lead it through 4 innings here at Latham Park. This is Elon Baseball from Elon Sports Vision. The best of Nolan Stranero while they could. A top of the 4th that featured 3 runs, 3 RBIs, I should say, couple of hits. And Hofstra Pride have jumped back in this game, 8-5. And now it's up to Liam Dabajian, who's on the hill for the maroon and gold as we start the top of the 5th inning. Rude awakening for Dabajian. He'll face 3, 4, and 5. Masick, Harrington, and McCoy. So you get a look at the Hofstra dugout. And now one of the captains of this team, Liam Dabajian, who goes to work after Stranero goes 4 innings pitched, 7 hits, 5 runs, but 3 of them earned, 5 strikeouts in the 20 batters that he faced.
13th effort on the season is 11th in relief, rather. A 9.72 ERA. 16 2/3, 20 runs, 18 of them earned on 23 hits. Struck out 14, he's walked 10. Only 4 extra base hits in the 23, but an average of 329. But a guy who has been a part of big moments and certainly has an opportunity here to get the Phoenix their first Friday night win in conference play.
And his next couple of innings really determine on how this game is played, as this first pitch is lined down the line in left field. That'll get to the wall. Rounding first, heading for second without a doubt is Masick, and he's in there with a leadoff standing double. The hit party started last inning for the Pride. They had 4 of them. Masick gets things going here in the top of the 5th with a double of his own.
Yep, 8th double on the season, 11th extra base hit. And Max, let's call a spade a spade. Right here is the portion of the program where the Phoenix have struggled in conference play when they've gone to the bullpen on Friday night. You mentioned the next 2 innings being big. I think next 2 innings potentially can set the table for the weekend, not only this evening.
Last thing you want to do is give the meat of this Hofstra order the confidence here in the 5th inning. Talked about how good the bottom 2 have been. Last thing you want to do is really open up this lineup card. Harrington takes ball 2 outside. Count goes 2-0. Singleton scored back in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th did Harrington. And the lefty batter will take that one inside. 3-0 goes the count.
Liam right now, a little bit of the military miss, Max. He's missed inside, outside, and then missed back inside once more.
Got to think that's because of the leadoff double by Masick. Showing bunt, but taking all the way that time was Harrington. And Dabajian will try and work his way back into the count.
Very rarely do you get 32 games into a year and see a cleanup guy with only 11 RBIs.
This one on the outside corner. So it was 3-0. Harrington probably thought he was going to be trotting down the line at first. Quickly becomes 3 balls, 2 strikes. This becomes a really important at-bat. 3 balls, 2 strikes, ground ball, past the diving second baseman, Vergantino. Rounding third, heading for home is Masick, and he's in without a throw. Nobody out in the 5th. Hofstra gets another back, 8-6. Good job by Harrington. 3 balls, no strikes. Kind of lost his plate a little bit, but he comes right back. Knee-high fastball that he smokes into right center field. And another run batted in for the Pride.
Zestawicki trying to make the dive, Max, and simply cannot come up with it. He actually dove over the top of the baseball. Right now, Dabajian just needing to settle down a little bit. 2 batters, 2 hits.
First pitch to McCoy is just off the plate, ball 1.
Nobody's coming to get the senior. There is no activity down the right field line. Just let it go. There you go.
Looked like the same exact spot, but only strike 1. Count evens up at 1-1. McCoy has scored both time he's been up. Hit by pitch back in the 4th, singled back in the 2nd. And Dabajian will check on the runner at first in Harrington.
That strike, though, Max, is the first one that's dove in on the right-handed batter. Liam's at his best when it just sort of almost snaps in at the hands.
1-1, tried to go back to that same snapping in pitch, but he just left it off the plate for ball 2.
Yeah, it simply didn't have the immediate break that you're looking for. That one almost was the straight line going to the inside.
This one kind of hangs over the plate, but it's over to shortstop for 1. On to first. It's a double play. Just what the doctor ordered. When it's rolling well, and the Phoenix roll the double to get the 2 outs in the top of the 5th.
And that's what the key is on Liam. It's been the key the last 2 to 3 years. If he can get it to snap in, then all of a sudden they'll come over the top of it. You come over the top of it, it's ground balls. You all of a sudden start working ground balls going to the left side of the infield. Then all of a sudden you can get 6-4-3, and you can find your way out of some traffic jams.
Really good job by the senior. You said he needed to just settle down. Well, the pitcher's best friend there, the twin killing. This one, chopper back to Dabajian. Easy underhand flip. All's well that ends well. 1 run for the Pride, but they still trail by 2. Phoenix come back to bat, leading 8-6 when we come back. Take a look at the four-legged friends here on a Friday afternoon. Take a look at the CAA standings. Couple things to note. Northeastern won earlier today. They're 8-2. Charleston won earlier today. They're 7-3. Everybody else kind of playing tic-tac-toe a little bit in the conference standings. But that all-important number, Delaware, the Blue Hens, Well, right now they should be highlighted yellow because they're number 6 at 5-4.
But now, Max, Delaware's gone to 5-5. They're on the wrong end of Northeastern, 12-8 this afternoon at Bob Hanna Stadium. The other one to keep an eye on, bottom of the first at Bowie's Creek at Jim Perry, Stony Brook and Campbell right now scoreless through the first inning of play.
Here, of course, 8-6, Phoenix over the Hofstra Pride. And as we get set for the bottom of the 5th, Hunter will go back to work. He'll have Sprock, Vergantino, Zestowicki, 2 up for the maroon and gold. 6, 7, and 8 for the Phoenix. Sprock looking for his first hit of the ball game, just 3-31 in conference play. This one, ground ball to the shortstop. Brown gobbles it up, fires across for out number 1, and the struggles continue for Ryan Sprock. That'll check in Justin Zestowicki. He's 0 for 2 today as well.
But we remind you, Ryan Sprock right now has got the only start that turned out for a Phoenix win in the conference. As Sprock got the Sunday start against Campbell, he'll get the Sunday start this weekend. The pitching change is dealt with Friday and Saturday. Straniero getting the call this evening. Then it'll be Mitrovic and Siraki at some point tomorrow on the new Saturday look.
And what's so important for Ryan Sprock here, he's 0 for 2 tonight, but the offense has done a good enough job where it shouldn't waver his confidence at all. 8 runs on the board distributed throughout this lineup. It should be a really good feeling that not all the RBI weight and the runs batted in weight falls on your shoulders for a guy who leads this team in RBIs.
Well, and also think about his year. I mean, Max is giving you the numbers. And yeah, look, they're not great. 3 for 32 in conference play is not something that you'll hang your head on. But a guy who's become the Sunday guy with regards to starting. And also think about the way the Phoenix lined up this evening as Vergantino takes the walk on the defensive lineup card. There's a cat at first base that prior to midseason this year had never been at first base. He's starting at his 5th different spot for Phoenix baseball, and that's Ryan Sprock. So you can look at the offensive numbers. They're not great, but look at what else has been done the last month to 6 weeks. I mean, at some point, you can't do everything.
Ryan Sprock, certainly a special part of this Phoenix team, doing it all on the defensive side. Zestowicki checks back in, 1 for 2 on the evening, reached on the E5. Going, and the throw down not in time. Vergantino will swipe the bag, got a really good jump at it. And he's aboard now on second base for Zestowicki. No balls, 2 strikes to the 8-hole hitter for the maroon and gold, and he stays alive, fouling this one back into the netting. Reached both times he's been up. Told you about the error. He then singled in the 3rd. He scored each of the 2 times. He also drove in a run with that single. Behind in the count here to Hunter, 0-2. Vergantino on second. Zestowicki leans into this one. Back to the wall, looking up. Goodbye, baseball. 2 more for the maroon and gold. Zestowicki. The expressway in left field is open for business today. And 10-6. Maroon and gold all over the Pride.
That is the 2nd home run of the afternoon. Evening. I would tell you the Phoenix offensive bats that had been outscored 45-6 in the last 5 games have all of a sudden found it. They are 7-1 on the season when they've hit that marker of scoring 10 runs or more.
Bats are sizzling. The Phoenix are celebrating over there in the dugout. 10-6, they lead it. Each of these 2 teams got 9 hits to their name, but the important category is all for the Phoenix. Yakubi ground ball. That one's fielded easily by Brown. Give a lot of credit. Yakubi made his way down the first base line in a hurry, but not in time. That'll be out number 2.
And what you've done, Max, and the thing that we've talked about a few different times, you've answered the bell. Hofstra with 2 runs in the top of the second. Phoenix get 3. Hofstra with 4 runs over the last 2 innings. They've all of a sudden closed it down to what was a 2-run margin from what at one time was a 6-run margin. All of a sudden, 2 runs in this inning moved it back to another workable 4-run margin.
And you look at it, 5 innings played here. Well, not complete innings played, but 4 2/3 innings played. 5 numbers out there on the scoreboard. 4 of them crooked, 1 of them a 0 for this Phoenix offense.
Danny Kelleher is the guy warming up down in the Hofstra bullpen. 6'4", 220-pound senior from out of Rockville Center.
Mallory lets this one fly into left center field. That'll get down for a base hit. He'll turn the corner looking for more, sliding into second base. He's out at the second base bag. Might have lost his grip a little bit on the base. And he's thrown out from center field. Not before the Phoenix get 2 back. They lead it 10-6. Mallory Jr. just couldn't get to the bag. 10-6 Phoenix lead it when we come back. Debajian's day is done. Hey, a couple of CAA opponents' days are done as well. Let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Northeastern over Delaware 12-8. UNCW all over the Towson Tigers 5-0 at the end of 5. Charleston over Monmouth earlier today 9-1 from Patriots Point. Elsewhere throughout the CAA, bottom first in Bowie's Creek. Campbell and Stony Brook knotted 0-0. Top of the 5th from William and Mary. NCA&T leading the Tribe 4-2. And here, of course, 10-6. Phoenix on top of the Hofstra Pride. Liam Debajian told you his day is done. Sam Nomura, his night has just begun now with the 4-run cushion.
Sam Nomura in the ball game as Nomura will work for the 15th time on the season. 1 win, 1 loss, an ERA of 8.85. He's got 2 saves to his credit, 20 1/3, 24 runs on 20 of them earned on 28 hits, 19 strikeouts, 13 walks, max 8 of the 28 for extra bases, and an average of 322.
Told you when Stranero came into this game, his confidence had only been on the up and up. Well, Sam Nomura is another guy that I'd throw in that category who has been better and better and better each time he has gotten out onto the bump. Sealy ground ball to third base. The other captain, Connor Offshack, up with it across the diamond. Plenty of time for out number 1. Good start for Sam Nomura as he gets his first batter down via the 5-3 on the ground out.
Well, the key now in all of this, and obviously Stranero getting the start and being able to go 4 innings, and I've heard everything from it's going to be a bullpen Friday to it's a new look with regards to the rotation and everything else.
Pelcher showing bunt, pulls back for strike 1.
But at some point, you've got to have one of the guys now out of the bullpen go multiple innings. Nomura can't be a guy that just goes the 6th. You now got to start to have a guy that goes 2 innings out of the bullpen.
Just to touch on the point, Debajian only goes the 1 inning, 2 hits, 1 run, it's earned. Faces a couple batters, but 15 total pitches before he's out of here. Now 1-1 strike to Pelcher, lifts this one into center field. Yakubi makes the catch cap high for out number 2.
Now, here's also why Tabajian going 1 inning is so worthwhile. Tomorrow is Mitrovic and Siraki in this new look, and Justin will go as long as he can go, and then Siraki will try to take it to the house. But you can come back on Sunday and bring Liam on the back end. So when we say you need somebody to go 2 innings this evening, you need somebody to go 2 innings just so that you're not having to rinse and repeat the entire back end for 2 of the 3 nights. Especially all of a sudden, Mr. Walls and Frank Catalinato disagreeing on the definition of a strike zone in Smithtown, New York, and Gregory Walls is going to hand out the hall pass monitor warning on the 15th head coach in Hofstra Pride history. And a great look by our Elon Sports Vision cameras. Frank Catalinato's looked straight ahead twice, then he's turned back and looked at Gregory Walls once or twice. And Max and I have been around enough people to tell you, arms folded and swaying is not a positive sign with regards to the job you think the umpire's done.
That face right there says it all. But give a lot of credit. Gregory Walls has held his own on that outside part of the plate. It's been a strike all night long for both sides. As Brown taps this one foul, strike 2.
Which is a little bit different than the last time you and I were in this park on a Sunday against Campbell when the outside is not been listed as a strike. Let's just say that.
This one to second base. Little bit of bunny hops for Will Vergantino. That'll retire the side 1-2-3 style for Sam Nomura and crew. Phoenix preserving the 10-6 lead. They go back to bat here in the bottom of the 6th. Home runs here, home runs there, home runs everywhere tonight at Latham Park. The Phoenix have done it with the long ball. Take you through the bottom of the 5th recap. 2 runs, a homer by Justin Zestawicki, and it's enough to make the pitching change in Henry for the Hofstra Pride. Can close the book on Hunter, goes 2.1 innings pitched. 2 hits, 2 runs, they're both earned, a walk, a strikeout, only faces 9 batters, but that is his evening for the Pride pitcher.
So Cade Henry will roll out his 9th effort on the season, Max. 8th in relief. 1 win, 3 losses, an ERA that is north of 13. 11 innings of work, 17 runs, 16 of them earned on 15 hits, 10 strikeouts, and 12 walks. You get a look at a couple of guys that have become best friends here over the last inning, and Frank Catalinato and Gregory Walls. Just in case you're wondering, a warning for the Hofstra dugout, and the home plate umpire gives us the early quote of the weekend. It's been a strike all night. It's going to stay that way. Welcome to CAA Baseball, night 1 of 3 on 2 ball clubs that have had success in the postseason. Of course, we've mentioned it before. Elon's never not been in the CAA postseason since joining the league. And need we remind you, Hofstra comes back into a ballpark that they won it all in 2022, looking to catch lightning in a bottle. But so far, the Phoenix have done that, Max. And the guy that stands in has been the culprit in Charlie Granitel, who is 2 for 3 and has been the spark plug along with Kenny Mallory.
Certainly has. He got this game rolling with a single back in the bottom of the first. One of 10 Phoenix who came around to score as Henry loses his hat there on the first pitch of the night from him. Cade Henry, the 6'5" senior from Phoenix City, looking to stable the ship here for the Hofstra Pride as he misses outside ball 2. Told you Granitel 2 for 3 on the evening. Then was part of a 5-4-3 double play back in the second as he takes that one outside for strike 1.
Henry's got a little late break to the ball that time. Started right on the inside of the plate, then broke across off of the late snap.
2-1 pitch. This one breaks back in, but not enough to be a strike. 3 balls, 1 strike to the number 1 hitter for the bottom of the 6th in Charlie Granitel. Hitters count to 22. Lifts this one deep into right field. Giving chase is Masick. Can't make the play in fair territory, and it's off his glove. Granitel is looking at third base, but he'll hold put at second. And depending on how they rule it, we'll see.
I got a hard time thinking that's the second error on the night. That is a really good hit by Granitel. That is Masick trying to go get to it. In fact, there's part of me that says Masick's got to get to a point where you see it, you think it may drop foul, you just let it go. You stay away from it because of the uncomfortable angle, and they will certainly give the hit that time. Granitel on the double. Charlie, now his 3rd hit of the night, becomes his 15th double, Max.
Becomes the 11th hit for the Maroon and Gold. They've cracked that double-digit hit marker, something that was so common for them earlier this year in both the runs and the hits department. They've done it again tonight. First pitch to Paradine in the dirt. Good block by Pelcher. Saved 90 feet.
It's also the 3rd time, Max, in the 6 innings Phoenix have gotten the leadoff man aboard. Just puts so much pressure on a team when you can do that.
That's been the recipe for disaster for the Pride. You look back at the 2nd inning, Sestawicki aboard via the E5. An inning later, Duffy got things started with the single. Haven't had anybody since that Duffy single, but here all of a sudden, a runner 180 feet away, and now a 2-0 count to Shane Paradine. Henry kicks, deals. This one lifted but foul over the netting. Strike 1.
We mentioned earlier that Paradine in the lineup this evening in the 3 spot, and obviously Ryan Sprock at first, moving to the 6. Connor Offshack at 3rd. Paradine's the kind of guy with Duffy behind the plate. Shane, a former catcher at Stony Brook. Boy, if you can get him keyed up, then all of a sudden it's another one of those things of just the rhythm of the lineup card.
2-1 pitch in the dirt.
And oh, by the way, we've talked through 9 guys. We have yet to mention 2 guys named James Broderick and Tanner Holliman, who caught lightning in the bottle last year and can certainly do the same over the final month.
Been the story of the season, the depth in the dugout for the Maroon and Gold. Really just finding the pieces that fit in the right spots. Hitters count to Paradine, swings over the top of the 78-mile-an-hour slider. That's strike 2.
By the way, we'll open up the record books here in just a moment. A couple of Hall of Famers, or at least one Hall of Famer in the record book this evening.
3 balls, 2 strikes, missing low. He walked him. And again, similar to what we saw that first time Paradine walked in the first, has a little bit of a tidbit for Connor Offshack as he's trotting his way down the first base line.
And out for a visit comes Frank Catalinato. There is activity going in the Pride bullpen, and the former 14-year big leaguer is not going to wait. Domino's call to the bullpen made for a second time. Cade Henry does not record an official out on the evening. We'll give you the information on the new hurler next.
Jake Delorier out of Eastport, New York, and Eastport South Manor High School will be the next pride on the bump this evening as he tries to kind of quiet the storm. Phoenix have gotten their first 2 batters aboard. It's Granitel at second, Paradine at first after the walk, and not an easy place to come in. Like we told you, can't close the book on Henry just yet. But what we can tell you, the numbers on Delorier, 10 innings pitched, making his 10th appearance, a 7.84 ERA to his name. And he's tasked with dealing with Offshack, Duffy, and Sprock for the rest of the inning.
Not only is he tasked with it, but here we go. 5 extra base hits and the 11 hits so far on the year, and a 268 average. Max, when he gives it up for more than just the infield single. This is a guy that a guy like 25 can reach and get to, and all of a sudden the Phoenix can start to widen the advantage. We mentioned earlier Phoenix have visited the record books on this Friday night. Kenny Mallory's second 5 RBI game in a season. He becomes the 6th Phoenix baseball player to notch 2 5-plus RBI games in a year, and included in that, the recent Hall of Famer from September and Ryan Kinsella.
And you think with the way Mallory Jr. has been swinging his bat, there's a chance for him to get a couple more of those 5 RBI games. Offshack shows bunt, first pitch of the night by Delorier is well outside. Good job by Pelcher to glove it. Saved at least 90 feet from Granitel. Got to think from Paradine at first base too.
Infield is in. Boy, if Offshack lifts one just to shallow left or shallow right, Phoenix will certainly add 1 more run.
Showing bunt again is the captain. Corners all the way in on the green turf. This one again misses outside.
By the way, the other 4 guys that joined Mallory and Kinsella, Gomez, King, McVicker, and Garrett Stonehouse. It's a pretty good list for the cat from Lawrenceville, Georgia to be a part of.
2 balls, no strike. This one outside again, and Offshack, who's shown bunt 3 straight times. Got to imagine he's taking all the way on this next pitch.
Well, and Hofstra right now just cannot throw a strike. You've told me often, they're basically giving you the opportunity.
Delorier, his 4th pitch of the game, his 4th ball in a row. Bases juiced.
And now comes trouble. Granitel to third, Paradine to second, Offshack to first, back-to-back walks. And welcome in 6 for his last 8 in conference play in this ballpark.
Halfway to the cycle, Alex Duffy is an RBI to his name already today. 2 for 3 on the afternoon. Doubled back in the first, singled and scored in the third. Left side of the infield's in, right side's at normal depth. That one, did it hit him? It did! Duffy will take his place down at first base. Everyone moves up 90 feet. Not the conventional way to get run number 11 across the board, but I don't think they care. 11-6, Phoenix lead it.
Boy, that simply looked like that hit maybe a little bit of the side of the gold top, Max. It certainly didn't plunk any of the hardware that Duffy's got on the uniform get up. But right now the concern is I don't think Deloria's thrown a strike yet.
He certainly hasn't on one like that. Just looking at the replay, that's one where the April wind and the loose tuck jersey will help you out a little bit. Duffy on first, Offshack on second, Paradine on third. Ryan Sprock, 0 for 2 today, the RBI leader for this Phoenix team. With one swing of the bat could get things back on track.
Not to tell you that the Phoenix know where the pride are coming from, but Elon's been down this road before. 1 run scored, bases loaded on just 1 hit, getting ready to add to it.
Let's add some more. Sprock delivers a single, 2 runs will score. Offshack comes in standing. 2 more across the board here in the bottom of the 6th. 13-6, all maroon and gold.
Great job that time. Maybe that gets 13 unlocked a little bit on the offensive end. A fantastic job by Sprock. Simply seeing eye single that finds its way into left field, and now in stands Will Vergantino.
Well, that's the game you play. You got a guy like Ryan Sprock batting a little bit further down the lineup. The infield comes in. We know how hard he can hit the baseball, and he hits it hard enough to split the difference and drive in two. 13-6, the Phoenix lead it. And Delorier, minus that base knock by Ryan Sprock, has yet to throw a strike across home plate. 1 ball, no strikes to Vergantino. Showing bunt, gets it down. It's to third base. Hustling down the line. He can't get there in time. But a productive out, if you will, moves both Duffy to third and Sprock over to second.
I tell you what, Max, Phoenix have found something on Rosso at third. They have sprinted down the line on every bunt opportunity and forcing Rosso and Frank Cataldonato. Boy, this is a 2 for your price of 1 Domino's call to the bullpen. Came out earlier in the inning, went and got Henry, and now it's time to go back.
We'll see who the new Hofstra hurler is when we come back. Just 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. The Phoenix have already plated 3. 13-6, Phoenix lead it on Elon Sports Fishing. The Beach Lake native, Joseph Carreri, will get his crack at this uncrackable Phoenix lineup so far. 13-6. Elon has exploded for another crooked number this inning. The 5th inning of 2 or more runs. They've scored 3. There's only 1 out, and there's still 2 ducks on the pond. Duffy at third, Sprock at second. Sprock delivered the RBI single moments ago. That ended the night for Delorier. Can't close the book officially on him. But an Elon Phoenix offense that has just been let out of the cage today. They're dancing, the crowd's dancing, everybody's dancing. It's a good time to be an Elon fan right now. Told you 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Zestawicki and Yakubi, the next 2 batters for the Phoenix, 8 and 9. They'll face the righty pitcher in Carreri. And like we told you, still 2 runners in scoring position. Phoenix not done with the inning just yet.
Quick reminder, we'll see you tomorrow at 4, Sunday at 1. Elon would like to find a way to maybe save some of these runs for the next 2 outings.
First pitch to Zestawicki in the dirt. Good block by Pelcher. Didn't get too far away from the catcher, and it kept the runner at third base. And quickly, first pitch thrown, first meeting, not official meeting in terms of what goes in the scorebook, but Pelcher out for a chat with his new pitcher. Game of the week for the CAA in the Pride and the Phoenix this afternoon, and the offense certainly hasn't disappointed. 19 runs, 21 hits. Still got a couple more innings of action.
8 runs of offense, or excuse me, 8 innings of offense, 8 half innings of offense. 7 of the 8 have been multiple run innings.
Can't script it better than that. As Zestawicki ahead in the count, 2 balls, 1 strike. He's scored each time he's been around the base paths. including a home run in his last at-bat. Trying to join where he just put the other one over the left field fence, but that one just missing. 2 balls, 2 strikes, just 1 out here in the 6th.
Be interesting to see how the Phoenix will run things the final 3 innings, obviously with a touchdown lead.
Close pitch, just misses on the inside corner. Zestawicki was buckled on that breaking ball at 75.
Mike Kennedy talked earlier this week when he talked about making this change, how guys that work 1 inning on Friday will certainly be able to go on Sunday. Well, so far, DeBogian's gone 1, Namora's gone 1.
As Zestawicki draws the walk, trying to go back to that same pitch was Carreri, but he missed it upstairs.
What about Zestawicki's afternoon? 4 plate appearances. He's reached base 4 straight times.
Three RBIs already for Zestawicki. Like you said, 4 straight times he's been on that first base bag. Each of his last time he's scored. Yakubi will try and keep the inning going. Phoenix are 2 batters away from getting back to the man who started it all in Charlie Granitel.
Namora's in the bullpen just simply staying loose. That leads you to believe and me to believe that he'll throw the 7th. And Frank Catalinato has emerged once again for a visit. I don't think this is the 3rd pitching change in the inning because nobody's up throwing. But you got to go out and get somebody settled down. Max, right now, they just cannot find the strike zone.
They really can't. The last 2 pitchers have had a combined maybe 3 strikes to their name. A hit by pitch, a single by Sprock, a walk by Zestawicki. It has been tough sledding so far in this 6th inning for the Hofstra Pride pitching.
This is 3 runs on 2 hits. There's an opportunity to get even more. Granitel double and Sprock single, the only 2 hits. Paradine, Offshack, Duffy, and Zestawicki have all reached on something other than.
And you talk about that Granitel double back at the top part of this bottom of the 6th. Each time the Phoenix have gotten the leadoff guy aboard, the 2nd in Zestawicki on the E5, the 3rd in Alex Duffy. Then you fast forward to the 6th inning. They've scored at will when the leadoff guy gets aboard. 3-0 count now to Yakubi.
Max, these aren't missing by a little bit either. This is where Pelcher's had to slide and go get stuff out of the crouch.
Yakubi most likely taking all the way, but there's nowhere to put him. 3-0 pitch, outside corner, strike 1.
You and I have often said that things are an interesting relationship between dugouts and home plate umpires. I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you that a lot of this started after the conversation in the 5th.
2nd straight walk, 4th of the inning, and the 4th run of the inning for the Phoenix.
I'm not telling you that those 2 things go hand in hand, but
back to the top of the order for the Phoenix. Left fielder, number 2, Kenny Mallory.
in will stand Kenny Mallory.
Phoenix have batted around Granitel. If he's able to get another at-bat, it'd be the 2nd time he's batted here in the bottom of the 6th. First 4 Phoenix who came to the plate in this bottom half of the inning have all scored. First pitch to Mallory misses outside, ball 1. Yakubi on first, Zestawicki on 2nd, and Sprock on 3rd. Sprock just one of the 2 hits this inning. He's delivered 2 of the runs. Mallory looking to supply a couple more. This one bounces the old 59-footer for ball 2. Mallory a triple away from the cycle. He got thrown out in the 5th, trying to go for his 2nd double of the game. But 3 for 4 today after he started the Phoenix batting, if you will, in the bottom of the 1st with a ground out to 2nd base.
Need we remind you, if he does get the triple, it is only the 3rd this year for the Phoenix. Tanner Holloman and Connor Hofstra have got the others.
3 balls, no strikes. Can't imagine that Mallory is going to swing at this next pitch regardless of where it is. He wasn't, and he's taken strike 1. Once again, nowhere to put him. Bases are loaded. Phoenix have already plated for this inning.
The difficult challenge here, though, is there's only 1 out. This isn't like you're dealing just with Kenny to get out of the inning.
3-1 pitch in there for strike 2.
I mean, you've got to deal with Mallory and then deal with a guy that's been just as hot in Granitel.
Makes this 3-2 count even bigger. That one just misses high and away. Continue the cycle. And the Phoenix have plated 5 now in the inning.
And each of the first 5 have scored in the inning. Granitel, Paradigm, Offshack, Duffy, and now Sprock. Zestawicki to third, Yakubi to second, Mallory to first. Kenny reaches for the 4th time on the night. He will join Zestawicki in that honor. First time I can remember an 0-1 count starting at bat.
I was going to say, 3 straight walks for the Pride pitchers, 5 in the inning. You tack on the hit by pitch. Has not been a strike-heavy bottom of the 6th inning. Granitel swings at this one down the line, just foul. That was as close as it could have been down the left field line, and it easily would have scored at least 2 more.
Oh, it got the merry-go-round in full operation that time, as it not only would have hit in fair territory, but it was working toward the bullpen corner of that left field wall.
15-6, 0-2 count to Granitel. There's still only 1 out. Little tapper. This is a tough play over at third base. Rosso quickly gathers, fires to first, just in time to get Granitel. We've seen it time and time again. The head goes down by the batter, and it's a tough play in the infield. But when all's said and done, when the dust finally settles, 2 outs on the board, 16-6 on the scoreboard. As Shane Paradine takes his first pitch for ball 1.
Paradine's had a night that's kind of indicative of the Elon offense. 0 for 2, but he's scored 2 runs. Walk in the first that he scored on. Walk in this inning that he scored on.
Takes that one upstairs for ball number 2. Grounded into a double play back in the 2nd inning. Flew out to left field in the 4th. Like you said, each time he's been on base, he's come around to score. Once again, missing to Paradine. 3-0 goes the count. Runners on 2nd and 3rd after the Granitel ground out that did drive in a run. Zestawicki on 3rd. Or excuse me, Yakubi on 3rd, Mallory on 2nd. And the 3-0 pitch misses inside, load him up again. And the 3rd walk of the game for Shane Paradine.
You and I have seen a lot of things when we've been together. Not quite sure we've seen a guy get walked twice in the same inning.
That would be a first.
Yeah.
Added to the list of strange occurrences, as I believe there's going to be a pinch runner that there will be for Paradine at first base.
Yep.
It'll be Cole Mascolo who gets to check into this one. But just added to the oddities here at Latham Park this season. 2 grand slams in an inning, 2 walks by the same guy in an inning. Taking a look at it, chance for another grand slam right here with Connor Offshack checking in.
Yep, Phoenix have already hit 5 on the season. Vittori, Vergantino, Sprock, and Mallory.
Offshack held back, probably should have taking a swing at that one. 0-1 goes the count for just the second batter that Carreri has faced.
Mallory's got 2 of them on the year, the only guy with multiples.
Hofstra again holds back, again strike 2. 0-2 goes the count. Paradine walked for the second time this inning. He's on first. Mallory Jr. walked before him. He's on second. And wouldn't you know, Yakubi, who walked earlier, he's on third. Good take by Hofstra, takes that one inside for ball 1.
Problem that Hofstra's run into, and the Phoenix have been here. I mean, this is a spot that Elon's been in, is that you certainly don't want to just stand up there and walk guys in. You don't want to stand up there and just give away runs.
1 ball, 2 strike. That one in the dirt, gets away from the catcher. Nobody moving anywhere. Everyone stays put.
But at some point, Max, you got to save the arms in the bullpen. I mean, yeah, this evening's not gone well. 16 runs on 12 hits, and you certainly have been tagged for several different opportunities, non-hit-wise, walk, hit by pitch, things like that. But at some point, you got to come back tomorrow and play at 4. And you got to come back on Sunday and go at 1.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Hofstra, ground ball up the middle. That is a nice diving play at shortstop. Flip over to second base in time for the out. Much to the chagrin of the Elon faithful. Cole Muscolo can't believe it. And Coach Kennedy up out of the dugout for a little bit of a word.
Yakubi will score. Mallory will go to third. Paradine is taken care of.
As you get another look at it, that will draw the inning to a close. 16-6, the offensive gates open. The Phoenix never got them closed. They lead it by 10.
Well, Shane Paradine is going to be ruled out 6-4, and it'll send us to the top half of the 7th with Max Wallace, Claire Geary, our entire Elon Sports Vision team. I'm Taylor Durham. As you get a look at Hofstra's upcoming schedule, they'll double dip the midweek next week, and then a couple of interesting weekends, Max. 19th through the 21st, they'll welcome the Camels to Bowie's Creek. And then the following weekend, they will be in East Greensboro for a date at War Memorial Stadium and the North Carolina A&T Aggies. That's the same weekend. The Phoenix are on the Back Bay for a date with Northeastern. And by the way, Huskies continuing to put up their marker. Max told you earlier, knock off Delaware. Try this on for size, partner. 26-7 now, 8-2 in the league. They are 10-0 at home. Ground ball hit by Palmer, fielded by Bergantino. Zestawicki. The throw to first is not in time. And so Palmer will be safe as top of the 7th begins with Dylan Palmer's second hit of the afternoon and evening. As Namora looks in. Tate. Ostrowski's in the pen. And Namora missing on the outside to Rosso. Rosso 0 for 3 on the evening. Fly ball to Mallory in the first. Struck out looking in the third. And then the pop up to Zestawicki in the 4th.
Looked like Nomura was going a little bit of it at a quicker pace, and home plate umpire Gregory Walls had to come out and say, take your time on the mound, get set first before you try and deliver to home plate.
And Nomura missing on the outside, so quickly Sam, who had to get up and go to the bullpen and throw to stay loose during the inning when the Phoenix would plate 6 runs on just 2 hits. He's down 2-0 to Rosso. And the offer, ground ball up the middle. Vergantino flips to Zestawicki, and the throw to Sprock in time. Double play, best friend of the Phoenix pitching staff. The second one of the evening. This one goes 4-6-3. And just like that, 2 up, 2 down.
It's been the story of the broadcast. It's been the story of this game so far. When something good happens for this Phoenix team, it comes in bunches. Coach Kennedy knows it. The entire dugout knows it. It was just a matter of time for this product to get to the field. We've seen it throughout non-conference play. We've seen it from bits and pieces during conference play.
Yep.
But now they're doing it at a complete fashion. What a play in the middle infield.
20th double play on the season. Hofstra has it turned against them for the 22nd time. Here's the 1-0 against Basic. Breaking ball in there. And the count will leave it up at 1 ball and 1 strikes. I thought the head coach made a great point that we'll talk about here once Basic gets through. Here's the 1-1. And this one fouled away. He talked about being one of the ultimate positive people, which he is. You spend enough time with the 28-year skipper, you will realize that. And being a man that believes once you turn it, the gates almost bust open. Here's the 1-2. Miss it on the outside. Let's not take one night and think everything's solved, but certainly one night can lead you to some different opportunities.
And he started the night by saying not to stack back-to-back bad days. We'll try stacking back-to-back good days with today and potentially tomorrow.
Here's the 2-2 outside corner. Nomura froze him, and Masick is retired. The 3rd time on the night on the strikeout, and the second one that's the looking to strike 3. It'll send us to the bottom of the 7th. Time to stretch on a Friday night. Phoenix in front by 10. So we head to the bottom half of the 7th inning after the Phoenix gathers 6 runs on just 2 hits and a few different Domino's calls to the bullpen. As 3 different Hofstra hurlers get used in the bottom half of the 6th inning. And now in stands Mike Sweeney, who will double dip on the night, as Mike Sweeney becomes the infielder who will throw a little bit of a relief session. It is his first appearance on the season, and he will get Alex Duffy to begin things here in the bottom half of the 7th as the Phoenix lead by 10. 16 runs on 12 hits. Hofstra 6 runs on 10 hits, make it 16 runs on 13 hits as Alex Duffy singles into right field. And just like that, leadoff man is aboard, and in stands Ryan Sprock.
Duffy just continues to do great things with the bat and ball. I mean, 3 for 4 today. Continues to be dominant here in conference play. Fantastic stuff from the man behind the dish.
Let's update the number. Last 2 CAA home games, Max 7 for 9. At the plate for Alex Duffy as Ryan Sprock will stand in and take ball one on the outside. I hasten to tell you, 16-6, up 10. That'd be about the margin of Matthew Downing to Chandler Brayboy. And Burko with an extra point and Burko with a field goal. It'll also give us the opportunity to remind you that tomorrow is a full day. Not only here at Latham Park, but just across the Ingold lot inside Road Stadium. Somewhere about 11:15, 11:30, Tony Trisciani and the Phoenix football program will wrap up their spring practice schedule with the scrimmage, final scrimmage of the spring, open for the public. It'll be your last chance to see the Phoenix inside Road Stadium until mid-September, when the Catamounts from Cullowhee come calling. Western Carolina, East Tennessee State, ground ball by Sprock into left field. Station to station goes Duffy, and Sprock aboard off of the single. It is Ryan's second hit of the evening.
Like you say, this last spring ball day for football, but Coach Trisciani calls the summer Groundhog Day. Every day kind of looks the same for the guys.
Yep.
Practicing all summer long, getting their lifts in, getting ready to go for the 2024 season.
There's a little bit of Groundhog Day this evening for Phoenix baseball as Elon continuing to put up opportunities and continuing to have chances at multiple run innings. So far, Max, 5 of the 6 have been multiple run innings. That's how you put 16 runs on the board on now what is 14 hits. As Sweetie will deal, this one lifted high in the air by Vergantino. First baseman Seeley giving chase to no avail. And it will be no balls, 2 strikes. By the way, you may have seen some notes the last 2 weeks. Of course, the opener with the Catamounts will be a 6 p.m. kick. And the offer fouled away. Take note, the second home game will also be at 6. East Tennessee State in town. Before the Phoenix welcome Russ Huesman and the Richmond Spiders to town for family weekend. We'll look forward to being with you throughout the years. Vergantino will lift it into foul territory. Will Vergantino on the evening. 0 for 1, but has a run to his credit, Max. Couple of sacked bunts. And walked and scored in the 5th. And the offer. Vergantino swinging through it for strike 3. So Mike Sweeney, who comes in for a little cleanup work here in the bottom half of the 7th, records a strikeout. And now in stands Justin Zastawicki.
Talk about that. Blow a fastball by good hitter in Will Vergantino for the strikeout, the first out of the bottom of the 7th.
Zastawicki 2 for 3. He'll lift one. First pitch swinging. Foul territory. Rosso trying to track it down. Did he make the play? And he did. What a great job sticking his glove over the fence. Almost got in harm's way near our Elon Sports Vision camera person. But a guy who has, frankly, Max, struggled this evening on the small ball by the Phoenix simply reaches over the top of the chain link and grabs the second out.
It's one of the toughest plays in baseball to make. You're running backwards, cross your body, glove extended over the fence. Really nice play by a third baseman there.
And now in stands Tank Kikubi. He's another guy that's got an interesting box score. 0 for 2, but 2 runs scored. He'll send it to left, and the play will be made by Kennedy, the left fielder. It'll send us to the end of the 7th. But everything coming up maroon and gold on this opening night of the 3-game set. Phoenix lead by 10. This is Elon Baseball. So tomorrow's night draws to a close after 2 innings of work, and Tate Ostrowski will stand in to make his 10th appearance. 1 win, 2 losses on the year. ERA just north of double figures, 10.66. 12 strikeouts, 10 walks. Max, the number that probably jumps off the page. Just 4 of the 15 have been for extra bases, but an opponent batting average over 300. This is a guy that's been touched, but when he's touched, it's singles, it's walks, it's things that add up over time.
And this is a good opportunity for him where if he does run into a little bit of trouble, you got the lead in your back pocket.
Yes, you do.
Maybe try some things out here, work out some of the bumps in the road. Talk about efficiency for Sam Nomura, though. 2 innings pitched, 1 hit, no runs, just 19 total pitches for the sophomore.
Great to have a good crowd out for this Friday night. Blankets are optional. Mother Nature has been a little bit all over the map here the last 48 to 72 hours, especially in the Piedmont Triad region. Wind starting to whip. And it has certainly been a factor this afternoon and this evening. As the sun has gone down, though, it has settled down just a touch, and Hofstra will also begin to go to their bench. Tanner Sanderhoff will stand in. Freshman from out of Silver Spring, Maryland. Sanderhoff on the season makes his 16th appearance, just his 15th as a pinch hitter. 2 for 11 on the year. Ostrowski has fallen behind 2-0. By the way, Zestawicki's night is done. James Broderick in at shortstop for the Phoenix. Ostrowski comes set, kicks and deals. Inside corner for strike 1. Max Wallace steps out. Grace Stetler steps in tomorrow. We'll see you 3:45 on the Varsity Network app. As Ostrowski inside that time on Sanderhoff. And the offer, 3-1, swinging over the top of it. Count goes full at 3-2. Good job that time by Tate. 89 miles an hour on the fastball. Ostrowski set, he'll deal and got him swinging. Strike 3. So the Phoenix, who have certainly been in command of the zone at different times this evening, get the lead batter here in the top half of the 8th, and then we'll stand Alex McCoy. And boy, great work by our cameras there. Sanderhoff just simply got out in front of it.
Common sight for Ostrowski. I mean, he's coming from his undergraduate days at Grove City College. 288 strikeouts that way compared to just 87 walks. First all-time in Grove City College career strikeouts.
That's up near the number of the guy that's now pitching in the shadow of the Space Needle. George Kirby, the all-time strikeout leader for Phoenix baseball. Here's the 1-1, by the way, missing low. I think Kerbo somewhere in the neighborhood of about 360, I want to say, somewhere in that ballpark. Here's the 2-1. Kicks and deals, and this one is hammered. No need for Mallory to move whatsoever, as Ostrowski will give up the home run to Alex McCoy. His second hit of the night. He will score for the 3rd time on the evening, Max.
It's a really good pitch to hit that time, and McCoy didn't miss it.
Wow.
Got every single bit of it.
I mean, nobody, Max, moved in the building. That is some kind of professional job of hitting right there, as Will Kennedy will stand in. 1 for 2 on the night. And breaking ball that simply did not break. 3rd most runs scored by the Phoenix in a CAA game this evening. Towson in 2019, the other time they hit 16. Here's the 1-0. This one in there for strike one. They hit 18 last year on 2 different occasions. Stony Brook and then in West Long Branch against Monmouth. Here's the 1-1, missing on the outside. By the way, Hawks will be here next weekend. Here's the 2-1, and this one missing low. You and I are back together next Friday night. Look forward to having Claire Geary, our entire Elon Sports Vision team with us. Here's the 3-1, and this one missing, and ball 4. So Will Kennedy will take his base, and now Pensili will stand in, but before he'll have a chance to do so, head coach Mike Kennedy out, and believe the Domino's call to the bullpen will be made. Let's wait and see. 28th year head coach out for the visit. There's been no signal given yet. And the head coach will leave without a change. So a 9-run advantage. Something tells me the Fayetteville, North Carolina native may have simply said, Tate, it's great to be here on a Friday night. It's great to be with you, but let's go ahead and wrap this up and finish this up as Colby Pasquarelli throws in the Elon bullpen.
Pitch hitting for Hofstra, number 20.
And that's just after Ostrowski lost the last batter and Kennedy on a couple straight balls, gave up the walk. Just got to find that strike zone.
Joseph Minella stands in, and Ostrowski missing low. Count it 1-0. I will simply tell Tate this. The second visit is not as cordial as the first. Ostrowski all freed up. That one's in there for strike one. And by cordial, I mean not as lengthy. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the offer. This one in the dirt. Count goes to 2-1.
Great job that time by Duffy to make the nice pick on the ball. Keep it out of the backstop, save 90 feet.
Manella stands in, by the way. His first at-bat on the year. And Ostrowski missing on the outside. Ostrowski comes set. Runner at first is Kennedy, and the offer. Swinging over the top of it. Count goes full at 3-2.
Great use of the fastball that time. Big hitter in Manella. Just attack him with a high fastball. He could not lay off it.
3 different innings of 3 runs or more for the Phoenix. Here's the 3-2. Ground ball. Hit to Broderick. He'll flip to Vergantino to get 1. The throw to first. In time to get the second. And just like that, tell me where you've heard that before tonight. 6-4-3, the third ring 'em up double play of the evening. And the Phoenix will head to the bottom of the ninth, up 9. Well, he's become the 6th guy in program history this evening to drive in 5 RBIs in multiple games in the same season. He's the first to do so since Garrett Stonehouse in 2018. And Kenny Mallory stands in to begin things in the bottom of the 8th. will tell you is that a triple unlocks a lot. That's a fair way to put it, right?
I'd put it that way.
Okay.
He's just underscored the point of the electric offense this evening/afternoon for the Maroon and Gold. Might as well give him a shot at the cycle.
Michael Floridis becomes the second two-way player on the evening after Mike Sweeney came in for an inning of work. And much like Sweeney, Floridis has never thrown an inning this year. So Hofstra taking the route to try to save some arms for the next two nights. Max told you earlier, Northeastern a winner, Charleston a winner, Wilmington appears they'll get to 8-2. William and Mary was trying to get to 7. As Mallory lifts one, base hit. Fourth hit of the evening for Kenny. It'll be a single. He will not wind up with the cycle, but a 4-hit evening is a pretty doggone good way to begin a Friday.
And Kenny Mallory Jr., he's just been a constant in the scorecard this entire season. Through the ups, through the downs, could always count on number 2, and he delivers another solid performance. Solid in all capitals, if you will.
Well, speaking of 2, let's try double vision in 22. The offer, this one in there for strike 1. Granitel on the night, 3 for 5. Charlie's got a pair of singles to his credit. And then the double that he scored on in the 6th. And the offer, this one missing low. By the way, we mentioned that Mallory stood in a triple shy of the cycle. If he doesn't get gunned down in the 5th, he'd also still be looking for the single. Ground ball, base hit, flip to the shortstop Brown. He'll simply step on the bag and force Mallory, but Granitel will make it safely. So U6 as Brown makes the play. First out of the inning, but Granitel will reach off to the fielder's choice.
Granitel all evening has just been hustling up that first baseline, making every play that in reality seems routine just that much more difficult. It started all the way back in the first inning when he got his first single of the ball game. And from there, it just kind of trickled into the rest of this lineup, really hustling down the line. It's made a couple plays closer. They've gotten a couple free bags because of it. It's a big reason why they're up so big on the scoreboard.
Mascola will stand in. Remember, he was the pinch runner for Paradine in the 6th inning. No balls, 2 strikes, though. Cole on the season, batting in his 8th game. He is 1 for 5 on the year. Got a strikeout to his credit. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the offer, missing up top. Count's gone to 2-2.
2-year captain of his prep team at the Brunswick High School. Number 2 outfielder in the state of Connecticut coming out of high school as well as the number 15 overall player in the state.
Here's the 2-2, and Mascola rips one. That was headed toward the camera. That was a little bit of battle pay for our camera operator working down the first baseline this evening. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the offer, missing up top. Cole, whose brother Reed over at Wake Forest. Talented hurler for Tom Walters Ball Club. By the way, they'll be here in this 8-game homestand. They'll be the 8th game. And the offer, this one driven straight up into the air. Should be the play for Brown, and it will be. 2 down. And so with Granitel at first, in will stand Tanner McCammon. 6'3" freshman from out of Charlotte, Christian and Matthews. By the way, Phoenix, hang on. And if you can get William and Mary to do their best, then potentially Elon starts tomorrow. A game in back of a three-way log jam at 3-7. Max, you talked about it before the broadcast. Not only are you 4 back, but right now you got to jump some people. And so if you can get groups together and then jump them at one time, that's certainly good news.
And what's really helped their case is Northeastern, like you said, and Charleston with the win today. They're starting to separate themselves to the point where they're going to be locked in. You're
going to need some – it's the old theory, and it's kind of what you and I talked about during the basketball season at certain points. Here's the 2-0, by the way. This one missing. You're going to need some strange bedfellows probably the last 2 to 3 weeks of the regular season. And as we said at one point tonight earlier in the broadcast, it just makes sense that however this plays out, it's Elon and Charleston the final 3 games of the regular season in this ballpark. Here's the 3-0 in there for strike 1 on Tanner. So Connor Offshack's night draws to a close. 1 for 3. He got everything cranked up with the RBI single in the first. And the offer walked him. So McCammon will move Granitel to second. And with 2 down, in will stand
Now batting the catcher,
Alex Duffy. Duffy, who is 3 for 4 on the night, has reached base 4 times. And they offer. Miss it up top. Count goes to 1-0.
It's been the common theme since about the 6th inning for the Pride pitchers. Just can't find the strike zone.
Right. There was almost a shortage as Duffy will lift one foul. But once they started to miss it, they couldn't get it back. And that was when the Phoenix just simply jumped all over it. 6 runs in the bottom half of the 6th. And really, Hofstra done a good job. I mean, give Coach Catalanato's ball club a lot of credit. Phoenix jumped out to an early 8-2 lead. They worked to get it back to 8-6. Heading into the bottom of the 5th. Elon would add 2, get it back to a 4-run margin, and then get out of the top of the 6th without giving up any damage, and then simply pour it on the bottom of the 6th and push it to at one point a 10-point lead, or a 10-run lead rather. Hofstra's added 1 to make it 16-7. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Duffy. Granitel at second, McCammon at first. And the offer. Ground ball hit to first. Nice play made by Seeley. He'll flip over to the pitcher in Floridas, and that will draw the inning to the close. So the Phoenix do not add to the advantage, but they'll head to the top of the 9th, up 9. So we go to the top half of the ninth inning, and Colby Pasquarelli will try to shut the door on a windy, brisk night. Certainly wouldn't tell you it's chilly on the game day weather, but a little bit cooler than you might expect the second weekend in April. For those of you that celebrate such a thing, happy Masters Week as you get a look at the Colby Pasquarelli line. Tonight making his 13th appearance. 2-0. ERA is 6.08. 13 and a third, 12 runs, 9 of them earned on 13 hits.
Can also close the book on Ostrowski. 1 innings pitched. He gives up the hit. It's a long ball to McCoy. It's earned 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Faces 4 batters and throws 21 pitches. Like we've talked about throughout the broadcast, the people used today for the 1 inning, and I've got to imagine Sam Nomura, who only threw 19 pitches, are good to go for Sunday's game.
Oh, I would think everybody but Strand-Yarrow is good to go for Sunday. I think Sunday becomes Sprock, and then all hands on deck. And, of course, tomorrow, right now the game plan is it's Mitrovic to get the start and then Siraki at some point.
And you got to think that you want to replicate what happened today on Sunday as well.
Here's the 1-0, and this one missing on the outside. I'll be really interested tomorrow, Max. First time through the lineup card because you and I have talked before. Maybe one of the more cerebral guys in this rotation is Justin Mitrovic, as Dorson standing in to lead things off. What did Justin learn today? Watching this lineup card work through a Friday afternoon, what did he learn today, and how does that kind of affect what he may see tomorrow to begin things?
Thing that jumps out to me is Strand-Yarrow got batters 1, 2, and 3 on strikeouts. He got Masick to go down swinging once, struck out looking once, but then he also got Harrington on a strikeout. And we talked about at the early part of this broadcast, this is a Hofstra lineup that is very talented, but there are spots to get the outs. Now it's just going back, examining what Strand-Yarrow did in those batters that are the tougher outs that was what allowed him to get out of the jam.
Well, Colby Pasquarelli will fan Dorson to begin things here in the top half of the ninth inning. And Michael Brown will stand in. So you got to look at the swing and strike 3. And the offer. This one missing up top. Pasquarelli, his 8th strikeout on the season. 1-0 fouled away by Brown. 1 for 3 on the afternoon is Michael Brown. Single and left stranded in the 4th. Remember, this ball game was in doubt for a while. And give Hofstra credit. Able to answer the early 2 spot by the Phoenix, but boy, Max Elon just kept on pouring the gasoline. 3 runs in the 2nd, 3 runs in the 3rd, 2 runs in the 5th, and then, of course, the thing that busted the dam wide open, 6 runs in the bottom of the 6th. Here's the 2-2 by Pasquarelli, and this is low. Count goes full at 3-2.
That's something with the offense we've seen not only earlier this year, but last year too. You recall how good they were. It wasn't really a matter of if for this offense. It was just a matter of when. And today, the if didn't take so long, just the bottom of the 1st as they get Brown down on the ground out to 3rd. But this is a Phoenix offense that for the last 2 years, it's been once they're let out of the cage, there's no getting them back. They're just going to keep on running on you, and they did that to perfection today.
You think back to the conference tournament and the success they had, even in the loss to Northeastern, in the rain and the muck and the mire and the May in Charleston. You think back to Parker Haskins had a big day. The Phoenix went power at certain points. It's an offense that likes it in bunches, and that's no doubt about that. And maybe, just maybe, this evening has helped to ignite the lamp.
And you bring a guy like Parker Haskins up, and you just wonder who's going to be that unsung hero, really, of this year's team. less than a month left to play in conference play. Who's going to be that guy that really steps it up? And my mind goes to a guy who's in the same spot as Haskin and Alex Duffy behind the dish, who's been heating up.
Well, I think Alex Duffy. I think you've also got a guy like Ryan Sprock, who would be great to see him turn the corner. Is Palmer the base hit going right back up the middle? Third straight hit for Palmer on the evening. And so not quite done yet. 2 down here in the top of the 9th. But you look at guys like Sprock. We mentioned 2 other names. James Broderick, who's in relief this evening in the field for Zestawicki. But Broderick's a guy. Tanner Holloman's a guy. You haven't seen a Vincent Vittori. You'll assume you'll see him Saturday, Sunday. A lot of different names that can kind of jump to the front here over the next few weeks. But if you're looking at this thing from a 6-step challenge, Hofstra and Monmouth over the next 2 weekends, then tonight the Phoenix take the first step and do so in a fantastic way. Here's the 0-1 and gets him swinging on Rosso. Boy, Rosso 0 for 4 tonight and has just not seemed comfortable since the top half of the first. Pasquarelli checks the runner at first and deals. Ground ball foul on Rosso. No balls, 2 strikes, and the offer. Outside corner, Duffy trying to frame it, doesn't get the call.
Maybe the first time all night that outside corner hasn't been called a strike.
I wasn't going to say anything, but you're exactly right. And the offer. This one fouled away. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Pasquarelli can end it. Send them home happy with what will be the first Friday night win in conference play, the second win overall in conference play. Snap a 5-game slide and be a 10th win in this ballpark. And they offer ground ball, base hit going to right field. Granitel will scoop. Palmer will advance to third. Rosso gets his first hit of the night. And now in stands Luke Basic.
1 for 5 now is Rosso. It might not say much on the scorecard, but just for the mental and confidence sake of Rosso, that might pay dividends through the rest of this weekend, throughout the rest of the conference play for him. It's always a big change when you go from 0 for to just 1 for on an afternoon.
Rosso gets into position in the bag at second. He'll swipe it without the throw down from Duffy. No balls, 1 strike. Pasquarelli kicks and deals. That's in there for strike 2. Good job that time by Alex to get out of the crouch and go chase as it squirts free.
As well for Rosso, it continues a 4-game hit streak now. He's got hits in 8 of his last 9.
No balls, 2 strikes. Pasquarelli to try to end it. Working against Masick, kicks and deals, and got him. Ball game. Masick turns around, looks at Gregory Walls and just gives an exasperated, are you kidding me glance. But the Phoenix get the strikeout to wrap things up in the top half of the 9th. And I would tell you, they don't define better Friday nights than 16 runs and a 9-run win.
It was a complete uphill from the Phoenix from start to finish, and they got it done from a complete artillery of offense as well as pitching. A great way to start the weekend, and as you said, couldn't script a better Friday night.
Nolan Straniero gets the victory, and like we said during the 9th inning, if you're viewing this as a 6-step challenge, step 1 is completed. Step 2 tomorrow at 4 p.m. Our thanks to Claire Geary, the entire Elon Sports Vision crew. For Max Wallace, I'm Taylor Durham. Good evening from Walter C. Latham. Phoenix get the 10th win at home on the year and do so for their first Friday night win in league play.